Hey folks, this is Mickey G. Rodney and I got talking about some old military terms and acronyms that we ain't used in forever. Do you know what a lemon lot is? Well, you will after you listen to this episode of Old Fools Talking Old School.
So he got it. It was a nice little car, boy. He did well in picking it out, and but he's been wanting to get something up to date. He comes in and like when we all get together and everybody's parked outside, everybody got a newer car, and that Maxima still is in good shape, but it's a 2004, and he's like, I need to get up to date with the rest of the family. So he went on and got it, and so I'm. It's almost like he's still here living with me. I'm so involved in it. I didn't even ask to be. Y'all want us to get out of your business so quick, but you quick to draw us back in. So I took him over to the base and put it on the lemon lot, and did all that stuff. So we're just waiting to hear. One dude already called and asked about it. And so I asked him, what did he tell me? So I just answered his question. Then I said, boy, you got to be a salesman. You trying to get rid of this thing. Tell him about how good a car this has been and how it's been well taken care of. And You gotta learn how to tell the truth on this thing. So I hadn't heard nothing else from him.
Yeah.
But he got to go through me to get back on the yard. So I guess I'll hear if.
Oh yeah. You probably have to. But I've noticed over the years when I was in the military that lemon lot was always a good place.
Oh yeah.
For people to buy when they were looking to buy something for their kids, especially.
Yeah.
Like they weren't looking to get anything real expensive. They were looking to get something, like you said, been well maintained, and they know, most of the military people took good care of their cars. And I sold a couple of vehicles off the lemon lots on the bases, And it didn't take long, it didn't take long to sell any of them.
When I went over there, because they done moved everything around down here, and they got them different acronyms. I said, hey, where's the lemon lot? And they were like, they named off something. I'm like, I don't know. Is that the lemon lot? Damn, we had simple terms. Now everything got a QPRSD. I don't know what that is. And so anyway, I finally found my way over there. And the dude said, yo, man, it's over where the old commissary was. I'm like, okay, now you talking about language. I know what you're talking about. And so I went in there. The young lady said, oh, it won't take long, Mr. Turner, I can assure you. So I said, oh, okay, well, good for him. But it was some nice vehicles over there, too. That tells me that was them short notice orders probably and had to get up out of here.
Yeah, and, probably so.
You can go over there and get a nice vehicle, man.
Yeah.
And so we're just waiting for that to sell. I sold a couple throughout the years over there. And we got a gas station about a block here from the house. One of them good old boy gas stations, and he got about 10 spaces out there. He let people park over there. I mean, park their cars they're trying to sell.
Right.
And when what I did was I swapped cars with Philip. He had a little low, little Chevy thing. I can't even think of the name of it now. Cobalt.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was getting ready to sell my Maxima. And my Maxima was in a hell of a lot better shape than that thing was in. His Cobalt. And so I said, do you want this car? He's like too proud to ask. I said, boy, if you want the car, just say it. And well, yeah, Dad. I said, all right. So I took his Cobalt and I just drove it up there. He didn't even stay 2 days up there. And a little young girl, we had just done some work on it. A little young girl bought it. She was just going into her junior year of high school.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, that'll be good for her to. Actually, I came down $1,000 for it just because she just, well, I'm in high school. She went and got her grandmama. So her grandmama came up there and we talked. And I said, well, I'll tell you what, I knocked $1,000 off of it. And she says, okay. She said, when can we get it? I said, well, you can get it right now. I can go home and get the title. I said, when can y'all get the money? She says, oh, I got it right here. We can just go up to the tag agency. I'm like, damn, she was gonna pay what I was asking for it then. I'm being all thinking I'm being all nice. Hell, she won out on this deal. And so anyway, we went, did it. I've seen it running around here a couple times, and so I sold that up there. But yeah, I sold a couple of them on the lemon lot.
Yeah. Matter of fact, when we were in England, the car I bought, waiting for Mary and them and our other car to get shipped over,
Mm-hmm.
one I bought when we first got to Bentwaters was on the lemon lot. It just so happened the lemon lot at Bentwaters was right in the parking lot of the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we got there, everybody said, well, if you're looking to buy a British spec car, they got them out there on the lot. And I went down there and looked at. I thought the guy worked on base. I don't know how he got it on the lemon lot. He didn't work on base or anything.
Oh wow!
And so I called him up, and he came out to live down in downtown there. And he came out, and I took it and drove it. And first time driving a British spec car, and I could hear the bushes on the side going and scraping the side of the car. He's probably thinking this guy's going to mess up my paint job. He's running all into the bushes. But I drove it, and I said, okay, man, I'm going to take it. I mean, I just, like you say, back in the day, I was looking for something to get me through the 4 years we were there,
Yeah.
As our second car. And that's where I found that. I found that one on the lemon lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good little deal. They have some nice little cars over there too, and so hopefully that'll come through for him pretty quick here, and we can be done with that chapter.
Yeah.
It's amazing how he's like, Dad, I cleaned it. I know you didn't clean it. I said, your version of clean ain't. I said, when you went and bought your car, if it had some of the stuff I'm seeing in here, you wouldn't have wanted to buy it. So what makes you think somebody else gonna come and want to buy it if you ain't got it? You still had change in the change thing, And now he's got that dog, see, and luckily for him, because that little Cobalt that he had, I wouldn't even swap with him until you clean this thing up. So him and his mom gonna get out there and clean it up. Y'all don't know nothing about cleaning up no car, and the seats weren't leather, so them hairs was done. I said, take it up to one of them little professionals up there and pay them $25, and they'll clean it inside and out.
Right.
Oh no, we'll clean it. I said, they could bring it back. It was like I was doing inspections. I walk around it. Nope, I ain't doing it. Clean it up. Well, they finally got it. Rather than I said, see all of that mess, you could have took $25 up there, and they could have got it done. And but anyway, he cleaned this one up, and I was like, okay, that's I'm backing out now, because I'm the control freak that used to always be in there involved and this and that. So I'm backing out, but now y'all pulling me back. I'm giving you your space now. Now you're pulling me back in.
Yeah, well, that's the way it is with me and the girls. Same thing. I try to give them a little bit of their independence when it comes to things like cars and stuff like that. But it's always, well, Dad, can you go down and with me? So they know, how I negotiate. I've sort of embarrassed them a couple of times with some negotiations.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, they same way, and I guess they just want that added security that they making the sort of the best decision that hopefully they can. Even though I always tell them, they're always going to make money. They wouldn't be in business if they weren't making some money.
Oh, no doubt.
But you just want to try to get the best deal you can and a good car.
Yeah, right. That's right. And none of us know everything about it.
No.
Where it's been and what it's done, but you got to use what tools you got, to try to make the best decision and make an informed decision, just like in anything. And but yeah, man, I learned my lesson. I learned, I'm a consultant now. I'm not dictating nothing. So now I try to be in my corner and be quiet, but I get pulled out. I still use my same old stuff, dude. Said, so where you want your payment to be? I said, well, since you're asking, I don't want to pay shit. Since you're asking. Oh no, I can't do that. Oh, well, you asked, you know. And so we go from there. But I did intercede more because at this, it ain't like they're just young, but they're young when it really comes to everything, really in decision making. But they get that excitement when they see that car and they want it. I'm like, that's not the only one in the world now. I know you like it, but don't just at all costs, you know, take it. But well, I'm different from Ronson. Even when they were small, I used to let them ride in my lap and drive the car. And when they got a little older, I would let them ride around the block, and I would be in there with them. But enough of that got me to the point where I was like, "Oh no, I can't get in there with you, brothers, because y'all." Well, Dad, he was supposed to stay over there. That don't mean he's gonna stay. You gotta drive defensively. So Raza did most of the riding with them. I don't. I think when he took that car out on Interstate 40 and driving it, test driving, boy, my butt cheeks was so tight. Cause this is nice, Dad. He looking over there at me. I'm like, man, keep your eyes on the road. Boy, you talking about breathing a sigh of relief when we got back in that parking lot. Oh, thank you, Jesus. But yeah, Rosin jump in there, no problem. They go everywhere. And they go to these multiplex theaters and stuff and watch movies and 3D and all that, lounging back in them chairs. I'm like, no, I can't do that. Y'all need to take some of that upholstery cleaner with you. Ran back in them chairs. Ain't no telling who been in there.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, and I gotta be careful in 3D movies. I haven't watched one yet because sometimes I
I
can
haven't either.
get almost like seasickness, from watching,
Mm-hmm.
like things flashing, in front of me, and like I can't be watching like when we used to travel. We had a couple of vehicles that had, the DVD players in them.
Yeah,
And for
yeah.
some reason, riding and watching, and most of the time I'd drive, but every now and then I'd let Marion or the girls drive, and I'd get in the back, and they'd be playing a movie, and I start watching the movie, and I start feeling sick. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like,
Mm-hmm.
no, I can't do this. So, matter of fact, when we were down in Alabama 2 weeks ago, we went to the little arcade thing, and little dude, Papa, play this game with me. And it was, you had to put on these 3D, things, and
Mm-hmm.
it was like a motorcycle race. I said, no, I said, I ain't gonna take a chance and putting them things on and getting sick.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've never watched the 3D. I'm just not a movie buff. I don't even. It's got to be something really good for me to watch and or informative. Because me and reclining equals sleep. If it ain't something that grabs me, you know, I'll check out in a minute. Oh, half the time when I'm up here, I call myself watching a movie or something, and it gets to one of them long commercials or there's a lull, I'll switch the channel and then forget I was even watching this shit. Like, what was I watching? Good thing they got that little history where you can go back and see what channel you were on.
Right.
Because I wouldn't even know. So,
Yeah, back in the day when we was young, the movie was always a cheap date.
yeah, it
So I mean,
was.
there was times back in that time where, I'd probably seen just about every movie that was playing at the theater because it was always a
Yep.
cheap date thing. But
Yep.
now, I don't know the last time that I've actually gone to a movie theater to see a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I don't think I personally have ever rented a movie. I mean, not rented a movie. You could like Netflix, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't think
yeah,
I've
yeah.
ever done that.
Nah, I
I'm
haven't
the
either.
same way. I'm just not a movie kind of person anymore. Where at one time,
Yeah.
that was a thing. You always want to say you'd seen the latest, but now I don't. No,
Nah.
that ain't part of it.
See, it was a good thing because Rosin likes movies, and I used to suck it up every once in a while and go with it because I knew she liked it. But I can't remember what the movie was, the last one we went to see. I was so preoccupied with these dumbass people that are around because I'm always looking,
Hmm.
And first off, that damn music, that damn volume was so loud. I'm like,
Oh yeah.
man, I sound like an old man. I'm like, this is too loud. And then I was preoccupied with this woman pushed a baby in there in a stroller and had the stroller behind their chairs because it was like, how you go in and they have the one sitting down front and then you walk up and then there's an aisle and then the other stairs start.
Right. Right.
She parked the thing right there and there and had the baby in her arms, man. I'm like, this movie is too loud for me, let alone a baby little enough to be in a stroller. They little ears ain't gonna never have a chance. And every time I looked down, I saw that stroller. I started thinking about it. Hell, I probably watched the stroller more than I did the damn movie. So I just like, man, no, I can do without that. But she got the boys; they like movies too, so she got somebody to go with. And but she hadn't even been probably since COVID. We ain't been nowhere really. And then now you got COVID is about subsided. Uh, Now you got to worry about these assholes coming in with AR-15. So
Yeah.
I'm like, they got a couple of jazz festivals that they have around here, but I'm like, I don't think I want to mess with that because these copycats are out, man.
Yeah. Well, they had this incident tonight. This park they got. Well, it's not so much a park. It's a almost like a rec center. They got an indoor pool and all that stuff. Oh, it's over in what I call the mini hood,
Mm-hmm.
and they were having a little food truck thing over there, and we was eating dinner, and Tamara said, "Well, they've got Patterson Park on lockdown. There's been a shooting over there." And I'm like,
Man.
"Oh man, some young girl got shot in the leg. They put the whole place on lockdown. Matter of fact, Marion was talking about going over there."
Mm-hmm.
And Tamara said, "You ain't even got to worry about that now. They got the place on lockdown."
Mm-hmm. It's pathetic, man. You can't go nowhere. And all these idiots out here wants to be seen. You ain't got you can't get no attention at home, so you're going to come out there and make an ass out of yourself and at somebody else's expense.
Yeah, yeah. Like I say, it's just when you got innocent people that ain't got nothing to do with anything,
Yeah.
and they lose their life because somebody wants to, make their statement or whatever. It just, yeah, you have to be careful. You don't want to be going out in crowds and things like that.
No,
You
man.
know.
Oh, yeah, you can't even go to the mall, without somebody, shooting it up,
Yeah.
God. So we went to the mall about 2 weeks ago for the first time in a long time. Because they're doing more standalone stores now here for that very reason, with the proximity of the malls, and people can come in there and hang out all day, and the little rivalries go on. What now? So I know J.C. Penney done moved most of their stores to standalones,
Right.
and but we went out to, I think there's like 3 malls left here, so we went out to one, and my head was on a swivel, I was looking. You just never know when something might jump off.
Yeah, and that's a sad way to have to live. But I mean, I don't, knock on wood, do a whole lot of mall shopping kind of
Oh no.
thing. Usually, most of my shopping is at places like we talk about, Lowe's or Home Depot or places like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you gotta be careful. It just, like I say, it's sort of a sad commentary, but that's the world we live in these days.
Yeah, it is. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah.
So what do you think about your boy? Old Donald Duck. he gonna stop the war over in Ukraine in an hour
Well,
once he gets
yeah.
in office.
You would think people would have learned from the last time, but there's still a bunch of them out there who hasn't. I think my biggest, not concerned, but the thing I'm looking out more for is how down and dirty they're going to get now that the field is getting to be so much bigger and bigger, and some of the people that are
Mm-hmm.
getting in there. I said it'll be interesting to see how much mud they start slinging with old Donald.
Mm-hmm. Well, they
It'll
got
be
plenty.
interesting.
They
It'll be
got
interesting
plenty.
to see because he sort of made little snide remarks against everybody, but your boy down in South Carolina,
Oh, yeah.
uh,
Scott.
Scott.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting to see. I just like I just give up the name calling. You ain't got to have a little pet name for everybody. I mean, you did all that craziness last time. Try to stand up and let people know that you got some sense of decorum. But I think his base don't care about that.
No, they
They
don't.
sort of
No,
got off on that kind of stuff.
they
But
just like him. But
yeah,
I'm looking at the shallow Democrats and Republicans too. Yeah, start calling his ass back some names. He can dish it, but he can't take it. But y'all won't even try. You got so much to go on him. Like it's just like if I one of them dudes, I was like, hell, at least I can get a woman on my own merit. I ain't got to go and run my hand down in her pants, you know, and rape them. I mean, he got all kind of ammunition coming towards him, man. But nobody's got enough guts. First off, these rednecks ain't gonna vote for you no way, so it ain't like you're gonna lose nothing. The half of them, well, we don't want to. They don't want to say nothing because of decorum and this. That ain't gonna get you nowhere. You see, he's been the biggest asshole he can be, and that's who they gonna vote for. At least that 30% is anyway.
yeah.
And I'm like, hey, when you was growing up, the bully, what did you do? You had to get with him to
I
cut that
just
out.
I just wonder sometimes how many of them have you know skeletons in their own closet that they don't want to
They could
want to
be,
come out. That it's almost like, well, if I start throwing shots, they probably their camp probably already know about this and that and the other. It's
but
almost
but
like,
but the crap that they tolerate from this idiot, hey, it would pale in comparison, I'm sure, to
well,
to,
yeah,
to
because I
half of
haven't
that.
heard any really you know any really bad things about most. I mean, everybody's got their little things, and
Yeah,
there may be more that could come out if somebody really pushed it, but it'll be interesting to see where things go.
yeah,
And I don't know if a crowded field is a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, when it comes down to it, it's going to be a
hmm
matter of who's standing at the end. But I don't know. I don't know if it's all these people jumping in is a good thing or a bad thing.
Well, they just paying lip service because hell, it's only him and DeSantis really that count. All the rest of them can sit there and you don't even hear nothing about him. Donald Trump is an asshole, and he is already dominating the news cycle, which is what he loves with his narcissistic ass. And uh, Haley and Scott and all of them, man, they polling at 2%. I mean,
Yeah,
when they come down to it, I mean, they just decorations out there, right? My thing is about these Democrats though. It's time for y'all to get up off your high ass horse and get down and dirty with this idiot. Because my whole thing is DeSantis is a smarter version of Trump, and that's what I've been afraid of all along
hmm
of Trumpism, not Trump, because Trump is an idiot. And the bottom line is, and I don't understand why people don't see the fact that his whole 4 years he spent it on the damn golf course. He let those uh, radical right Republicans dictate policy. Trump knows nothing about any policy. He can barely do a speech and get where they're not fact checking because he done got shit half wrong. But he was the figurehead that let these extreme right wing people get done what they wanted to get done. So now they done pretty much got a lot of the stuff they want. Now they want somebody with some intelligence and that would be somebody like DeSantis. Even though his crap is cruel, the stuff that he's doing.
Yeah. Well, I know early on he ain't polling too well at all. Even though
Mm-hmm.
I saw some poll that they did saying that a lot. I don't know if it was a majority of people, but it was a pretty good number of the people were saying that they didn't want to see another Trump Biden campaign. They just thought there needed to be some new blood or whatever. And I'm like, well, okay, where is the new blood, especially on the Democrat side?
Right. Well,
Uh,
they already sabotaging Kamala,
yeah.
trying to make her like she ain't worth nothing,
So
and I trip on them because I'm like, when Obama was president, you didn't hear nothing about Biden,
right.
but they trying to make sure she don't get the nod.
I just, sometimes I think on the Democrat side, especially, it looks like at least at this point it's going to be Biden again. I mean, it's hard to go against the incumbent president,
Yeah.
as your candidate. Uh, I think he's going to have some things with his age,
Yeah.
obviously going against him, and
Mm-hmm.
of course there's always going to be distractors on the way he sort of handle things and all. But I just don't see anybody right now that would be a viable competition to him. I mean, I don't know who
No.
that would be.
Well, for poor folks out there, he should be there only because even though I'm not satisfied, there's a whole lot more he could get done. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt of doing it on the second term because he ain't got to worry about it no more after that. Like Obama. Obama couldn't do a lot of stuff his first term because he would have never got reelected. And the stuff that he did get done, they were fighting him tooth and nail for it, even some of his own Democrats. But I'd like to give Biden one, as opposed to what we got on the other side. I'd like to see Biden go in there one more time and see what he could get done. And because there ain't nobody else on the horizon.
Well, yeah, that's what I've said too. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
who else would be a viable candidate, and and I think whether it's Biden or whoever, they're probably going to get some of that, you know, anybody but Trump
Mm-hmm.
vote anyway. So there's going to be
Mm-hmm.
some of that. Some of them that's going to get some of that vote, but like I said, I just don't see anybody else that would be a viable candidate. I mean, there's nobody that at least that I've seen that have made any kind of inroads that you would say, yeah, they would be good. I'm sure there's going to be some people. I mean, I don't know if Kamala Harris would run against him or not, at being the vice president. I don't know if she would even do that.
Right.
But I'm thinking, well, okay, who else is out there? There's going to be some. I mean, I know there's going to be some people that's going to put their hat in the ring just to show some competition, but I just don't know anybody that would have a decent chance of unseating him. So I think he's going to be the candidate for sure. It's just a matter of if he can improve his numbers between now and election time.
Mm-hmm. Well, the only thing that trips me out about him is every time I see him walk, I'm thinking, "Don't fall, man."
Well, he fell yesterday.
Oh, did? No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was at the Air Force Academy graduation.
Wow. No, I
Yeah,
didn't know that. But he looks like he's gonna fall, and then he looks like at certain points he's like, what's gonna come out of his mouth next?
yeah, yeah,
And but again, that's not the make of a man. I mean, you look at the idiot he'd be running against, and this is the other thing that bothers me about that. Hell, they talk about Biden being 80. Hell, Trump is 76, 77. I mean,
yeah.
you
Oh
ain't
yeah,
talking
he
about
ain't
no
that much younger.
generation.
No.
Yeah. And some of the stuff that he says and does, he should his damn uh being cognizant should be into question. Because I mean, this dude he's incriminating himself. To me, he's making a mockery out of our judicial system, man. He's sitting there and he'll sit there and just tell on himself, and then they'll come up with some. Well, there's really no law. I mean, this dude will sit up. He did the O.J. Simpson. He's about, but what if I did it? You know, and can't do nothing about it, man.
No,
Well, that's a
no.
precedent. It's never been set, and this and that. And I'm like, Come on, man. Now you can imagine if Obama had done not even a quarter of what he's done, he'd have been gone. And this dude just keep, oh well, what did I hear that pundit say the other night about uh, he was giving him an out on saying that he didn't know that he could take it when they've got him on tape saying that he knew he wasn't supposed to take it. How is that? So I pretty much stopped listening to it because it's a joke, and all this. I think TV people are making big money off of it. Oh well, this might be the straw that broke the camel back. We've been hearing that for 8 years now.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just kind of sick of it now.
Yeah, I'm sort of that way too. I mean, it's something that I will always keep up on because to me, I think that's part of your responsibility as a citizen. But there's times where, like you say, you just get tired of all the rhetoric and all the spins on things and stuff of that nature, and I think that's why a lot of people have gotten a little bit rankled by politics in general because of some of the stuff that's going on and the fact that a lot of people, they get up there and they say one thing to get elected and they get in office and they do a whole different thing, so. So I know that's why a lot of people are sort of turned off by politics in general, just because of stuff like that. But you still gotta, I feel, exercise your rights and you should be knowledgeable of the candidate. Yeah. It's just right. You can't put your head in the sand and say, well, whatever they do, that's fine with me. Well, if you do that, don't complain about nothing.
Yeah.
So but yeah, it's gotten to that point, I think, with politics in general that you just sort of get turned off after a while.
Yes, indeed. So I done basically turned to FIGMO on it, And for those listeners that don't know what FIGMO is, I mean, I got my orders.
and you can fill in the F.
Yeah, exactly.
I ain't heard that term in forever. Yeah, boy, I tell you, the military has this plethora of acronyms and terms that only the military can understand. If you don't know what FIGMO is, look it up. Thank y'all for joining us for this edition of Old Fools Talking Old School. See you next time. Until then, this is Mickey G. Peace.